Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We have a very special guest returning, and last time I introduced him as arguably the best CIAA head coach in softball. This time, it is very safe to remove that arguably because we have Mr. 2P Coach Edward Powell. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thanks for coming again. Let's start off with those championships you got. How does it feel to be a two-time championship coach? First off.
So to be a two-time champ, really, I don't really spend a whole lot of time really thinking about it. Most of the time, I'm thinking about how we can get better. But when I do have a minute to just kind of reflect on all the hard work that the young ladies have put in, it feels pretty good to be to say that you won the conference twice. So to be honest, it feels good.
That's good to hear. And you win those two championships, got you some opportunities, such as throwing the first pitch at the Bowie Bay Sox game and participating in coaching in the MLB Breakout Series. So let's start there. What was the MLB Breakout Series and how was it?
Oh wow, man! The MLB Breakout Series was amazing. It was really a great experience. We got a chance to be a part of something really special. And I say that just because we were there with a lot of big names in softball, like Jenny Finch. If you know anything about softball, Jenny Finch, Natasha Watley, Lauren Chamberlain. Those are like names of goddesses of softball. And so just to be there with some dynamic young ladies to help them get better at softball, then yeah, it was a really special event. And being in Kansas City made it even better because that's where the Negro League Baseball Hall of Fame is.
All right, so I got did you go there? If you went to the Negro League Baseball Hall of Fame, did you go there and did you enjoy it there?
Yeah, we actually we took the whole entire group went there for like a half a day. Well, it really was a couple of hours, but I could have stayed in there. I could have stayed in there all day. But yeah, that's a really unique experience. The Negro Baseball League. It's just a lot of great history about the Negro League and about women that actually played in the Negro League, which most people don't know about. But yeah, so yeah, it was a great experience.
What's a fun fact that you learned while visiting that museum that you didn't know before entering?
Um,
I know that was kind of like a curveball question.
yeah, it was a curveball question because it was so much. It was so much information. It was a lot that I did already know. One of the things that our team talked about was Toni Stone was one of the first females, black female, of course, that played in the Negro League, and so we had gone to a play here in D.C. in Arena Stage a couple years ago. So some of the young ladies were still on the team, and they remembered. So when they saw her information in the Negro League Museum, they were already familiar with Toni Stone. So I guess that was the most unique part of it, to kind of see somebody that we kind of already kind of knew about, and then go to the Hall of Fame and then actually see it on display.
During that MLB Breakout Series, of course, you wasn't the only coach there. There was other coaches like alongside with you. So, what's some advice you learned from other coaches that helped you throughout the season?
Oh wow! So with some of those MLB coaches that I was there with, I mean, like some of those names, we just kind of bantered around information about new ways to pitch and kind of new positions that our players can use to get better. We talked about strategy, and actually when we were on the field, they led some drills where I kind of picked up on some of that information to figure out how some of those drills that they were doing is going to work for our team, which we actually had started to implement one or two of those drills already, just because it was so much shared and good information that we kind of fed off each other, and I brought some of that information back to Bowie so we could actually start applying that stuff on the field.
That's good. Hopefully it pays off because that we'll get to the start of the 2024 season and like after this 2023 season recap. But let's pick up from where we left off. So once you first came up for the interview, y'all pretty much went straight to the playoffs. In the playoffs, y'all won the first two games. They ended up facing Claflin 3 times in a row, from the semifinals to the championship game. How did facing them 3 times in a row kind of help your game improvement? Like, what they're going to do, kind of help you cruise through those, not cruise, but play those 3 games.
So because we played Claflin, and they are natural, they are a rival for us because we play them so often. So it doesn't take much for our team to get up to ready to play. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of what it is. And then it's just going through and executing, kind of doing the things that we know we can be successful at. And, what I say is that, we stay positive, we stay focused, and we just going to keep playing and keep our heads down, and we'll count them up in the end. But you know what I mean? We're not going to look up until the end, and then we'll figure out in the end what the score is, but we're not going to look up until the end. So that's kind of how we take the Claflin games. You know what I mean? Because you never know, because they got a lot of ebb and flows. The energy is really high. So we just want to stay the course. Stay the course.
You say I stay positive and stay focused. Did the team lose any positivity, any focus after losing that first game of championship when y'all lost 0-1? And if they did, like, how did you get them back on track? Because y'all won the second game, which we'll get into, but did they lose any positive or any focus after game one?
Not really. I mean, because we talk about, this game, we talk about that there's going to be some losses, but if we got an opportunity to revenge that loss, then let's just, learn from it. You know what I mean? Because we don't consider that we lose, we learn. And so let's learn from it and let's move on. And I think the game that we lost by one run.
Yeah, the score was 0-1.
Yeah, so we lost by one run. So we always feel good about, we usually we can score one run. You know what I mean? So we feel pretty good about that. When we lose by one run, it's okay, especially if we got another chance.
Yeah, so y'all did learn from it, and y'all did score more than one run. Because the next game was win and go home, and y'all blew them out the water 8-2. And you finally did it. Won the NCAA championship, man. How did it feel going from 1-24, your first 25 games of your coaching career, to winning the NCAA championship like 3 seasons later?
Oh man, it was a roller coaster ride. It was a roller coaster ride, and that one, and the players that are on the team now do not like me to talk about that 1-14 team. Mm-hmm. They do not like to talk about it, but I mean, I'm happy to talk about it all the time because that's the journey. That's that was the journey. But going from 1-15 or 1-14, whatever it was, I know we only won one game and a whole lot of losses. Going from there to winning 20 plus games is really satisfying. It's really like the work that we put in, the effort, and all the things that we saw that we needed to do to be successful. Those things all came together, and so it really feels really good when those things happen.
Speaking of feeling really good, I feel like this feeling had to be better than winning the championship, getting that invite, making it to the NCAA playoffs. Talk to me about that, because that was the first time in like years that the softball team made it there. So I feel like that had to feel better than winning the championship, honestly, if you ask me. So talk to me about that.
I think that they all go in their own kind of separate department.
Makes sense.
Winning the conference is really an accomplishment. You know what I mean? Because I think that what our conference, and I don't think sometimes we get enough credit, our conference doesn't get enough credit for, is that we have conference foes that will not quit. No matter what the score is, no matter what is going on, they will not quit. And so taking that into the regionals and making it to the regionals, and like you said, it had been a long drought since Bowie State softball had gone to the regionals. I kind of actually prepared for us to go to the regionals. Believe it or not, when we were 1-15, actually I went to the regional contest. And me and one of my assistants, I wanted to go just to get a feel, just to get a feel of the atmosphere. So wow. 2 years prior, I had already gone to it just to kind of get an understanding of the competition. I couldn't kind of duplicate or replicate that feeling, but I had an understanding. So when we got there, I felt like that's where we belong, and I felt like, okay, this is where we belong. Let's give it a shot. You know what I mean? And looking at the competition, I felt like we can be competitive.
Y'all ended up being the 8th seed and lost to East Stroudsburg first. Y'all dropped to the losers bracket, faced West Virginia, and lost 1-9.
Yeah.
What did you and the team learn and gain from that experience? Like when you said they gained confidence when they faced Division One schools during COVID.
Yeah.
What did y'all gain and learn when y'all faced those two teams in the NCAA playoffs?
So what we learned from that year, we learned that we have to play a little bit better mistake-free softball, but also that we have to prepare for the field that we're going to play on. All right, and so we played on a turf field, which normally here at Bowie State we play on a dirt field, and so the ball tends to do something a little bit different. It speeds up, it bounces a little bit different on that turf field. So us going in not knowing that, which I felt like that was more on me than them, preparing for the terrain. So the ball kind of did some things that we weren't actually prepared for, but it was a great learning lesson. It literally helped us from the following year to any. Now we got a good idea of what we need to do when we play on that different surface. So I think that was one of the things that we took away from. And the other one is that they tie their cleats up just like we tie our cleats up. They show up with a softball, we show up with a softball and a bat and a glove, and we can compete. You know what I mean? So we're ready to get to that next space, which I know we're gonna get to, but we're ready to get to that next place, and not win a game in the regionals, but actually win the regionals.
I'm curious to know, like, what did you do to help them, understand and get used to playing on dirt rather than what they play on here at Bowie State? It's like, what did you do to prepare them for the next thing I do make, which I did make in 2024? But what did you do to prepare them, like practicing on dirt, since I don't play on dirt here?
That's where the football field comes. That's where the football field comes into play.
Makes sense.
That's where we took advantage of practicing pretty much most of our games up to the regionals. We just practice on the turf on the football field. We knew that that's where the regionals was gonna. When we found out where the regionals was gonna be played, immediately we jumped right on the football field and start practicing on the turf.
That's smart. And now to the 2024 season, and man, that start was very 2020-esque. I must say, first 21 games of the season, y'all went 5-16, and honestly, I didn't worry about it because I always say y'all do good against CIAA teams. Y'all struggle against non-conference teams, so I knew like the rest of the season, remaining games was all conference teams. So I didn't worry about y'all 5-16 start, but what's going on during those first 21 games of the season against the y'all play what's that red team that Chris Paul went to? Winston-Salem. Y'all played Winston-Salem, but y'all didn't play any other conference team the first 21 games of the season.
Yeah.
So what was going on during those first 21 games of the season?
So we had, I believe, and just doing a recollection, we had 10 freshmen and one transfer, and coming into a new environment, coming into a winning team where everybody that we play know that we won the conference. And, we was everybody's target, whether they was in conference or out of conference. They felt like, hey, we're playing, but we had not learned how to play at a consistent level. And making no excuses, we bit off a couple of really good teams. I think we started off with Morgan State, played them really competitive, and then we went down to the SAIC, played actually the winner of the SAIC that year was Edward Waters, and the team that they played in the conference championship was Tuskegee, and we had lost to both of those by one run. So, and actually we lost to Edward Waters in extra innings. So we started off really with a really difficult schedule, but I don't ever shy away from our schedule. You know what I mean? It is the record was, and I think for freshmen, we had to make them believers. My returners was already believers. They were going to continue to work hard. They were going to do the things that they necessary. But coming to a new team and you start off 5-16, you think, oh, I thought I was coming to a championship team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the returners kind of kept us going. They knew there was no let off. There was only focus. There was no questioning. Kind of where we are. We just, let's just continue to play.
So I get to this momentarily, but you know 7 players they graduated and they won't be returning. So but you lose the 7 players. That means you're gonna get more new players. So what you gonna do differently this upcoming season to implement your new players, get them used to playing softball at the college level compared to what you did last season with your 10 new freshmen.
Yeah, so we got a strategic plan this year. Is really so we kind of partnered up. We have our upperclassmen kind of be mentors to the class that's coming in. So everybody that was there the year before, our juniors, our seniors, even our sophomores, they got a buddy. They have a softball buddy, and they have to do a couple things during the season. Prior to the season, during the season. They have to they gotta meet at the weight room. They gotta go to the calf together. They gotta eat together. You know what I mean? It's a couple things that because I think the bond, the sooner they can get the bond, as soon as they realize they're not playing for themselves, they're playing for all the 20 other people on the team playing for each other, then that's when it clicks. And then that's when it really starts to take off. And so that's one of the major things we did. It really wasn't on the field, because the on the field stuff is going to take care of itself. But it's really the bond that happens on and off the field that really makes the team go. So those are one of the things that we really felt like we needed to implement.
That's very true and that's smart. Hopefully we see that pay off this start of the season. But like I said, you lost 7 players that graduated, including like key player Akira Pullins. So can you give us maybe 1 or 2 names we should look out for this season that like freshmen? I don't mean like people that played last year. Like 1 or 2 freshmen or transfer students that we should look out for this season that would take like Akira Pullins spot or 1 of the 7 graduate spots.
Yeah. So of course you guys know Lindsey Georges and Jayla Hills and those, but I think one of the freshmen that's coming in, Sydney Seals, is a really up and coming freshman. She's a pitcher. We're looking for her to come in and do some really good things for the team. We have Lisa Frias will probably compete to play third base, just because we lost Jakaya Watson was a graduate.
My dog.
Yeah. We all love Jakaya. The energies is so infectious, So we got Lisa Frias could possibly come in and compete for a position. Our pitching staff is going to be really deep this year. We have Michaela Drakeford at pitcher. We have Riley Reed, Riley Dillard. I don't want to forget anybody, but yeah, we have a really deep pitching staff. And so those are some names, and we have Michaela Amos that plays third base. We have people spread all out really to kind of jump right in there and, and start to compete. Like our catcher position, we graduated Eliana Hiddenberg, which is now one of our assistants that coaches the catchers. We have Michael Young coming in, and we also have Jashelle Mosley. So we got we got a good mix of players coming in ready to compete.
I was kind of worried about the pitcher position because, like I said, Akira, she's gone,
Yeah.
and Karen, if I'm not mistaken, that was the pitcher as well. She's gone too.
Yeah.
So that just left Lindsay by herself. But I'm glad. Of course, I knew I was going to bring in more pitchers, but to hear you talk highly about them got me confident back about the pitchers. Speaking of, my next question was, I guess I asked it now. It comes to me later on. Question: who's going to be the new leader of running Chance? Because that was Jakaya. The games that I went to, Jakaya always started Chance. Did y'all figure out? Did the players figure out? Yeah, okay. Now that Jakaya's gone, who's going to run these Chants? Who's going to start off these Chants?
So that usually happens organically. Nobody kind of, they kind of each individually kind of have their own chance that they like to lead, and so I think it's going to happen organically. I can't honestly. I'm focused on so many other things.
I feel you.
They figure it out, and that energy keeps going. We have to have that kind of energy because that's just how our team is built, and so we look excited about having that energy week after week, game after game, and so yeah, it's gonna be there. I can't give you any names, but I'm sure it'll come. The energy is gonna be there.
Like I said, I be going to our home games. Like, especially, I'll start off with the home opener against West Liberty. It was like more West Liberty fans than Bowie State fans. Do that ever get into like the player said like we're on our campus, where our students, where our family live here for the most part, unless they come like California or something. But there's always more away fans than home fans. Did I ever get into like their heads, or even like your head as a coach, like wow, we don't really got like no support here, pretty much?
It's ironic that you say that. I just watched the West Liberty film last night.
Wow.
I literally just was watching that film last night, and because they had the exact same colors, but then when I looked in the stands, I didn't recognize any of the people in the stands.
Yeah.
Because it was all of you. It was all of their fans, and that completely filled the stands. And then we left some of our fans and parents relegated to the outfield because they were, relegated to the outfield. So I think for the most part, it doesn't, because our team has so much energy, and they focus on the game, so it would be great. Let me tell you, it would be great if we had the campus support. I'm not gonna lie about that. If we had the campus support, that would just give us more energy, more excitement. But I don't think, I could be wrong. I don't think they kind of look for it because they haven't ever had it.
Yeah.
So they don't, so it's not like we had it and then it went away and then, they're looking to come back. It hasn't really been there in a way that I feel like that I would like. You know what I mean? I know, our parents, we got great parents traveling. We got great parent support. With a little bit more, and we do have, and I want to be honest, we do have some committed, students that come to the game. We have, one of our biggest, Zay is one of our biggest. He actually is a shot putter for the track team, but he is out there cheering us on all the time. You know what I mean? And so we do have some student body committed to being a part of what's going on in softball. We just would like more. We just want all the campus to come and enjoy, all the cheering and all the fun that we have.
Like I said, I'll be there too. I don't be like loud like behind y'all and whatnot. Because me, I'll be there.
I know.
I'm gonna give you an example. In the West Liberty game, like I said, I feel like I was the only fan there. So I was in between West Liberty fans talking smack all the time.
Yeah.
That's when Lindsay went up to bat.
Yes.
I said, "Y'all watch this. She might get home run."
Yep.
What she do? Hit a home run.
Yeah.
So I'll be there defending y'all in the crowd. Like I don't be calling the names or whatever, but I'll be there talking smack amongst other fans.
Yeah.
Now it didn't pay off because we lost, and like they hit me with something crazy. The fans said, like they gave y'all a chance to compliment. They said, wow, like they got some pretty good chance. One fan said they're doing a whole lot of chants for losing for a team that just lost to a team that was winless. Cause this was game 2, a doubleheader. Mm-hmm. Y'all lost the first game, and that gave West Liberty their first win of the season. So they was like, y'all doing a lot of chants for a team that just gave a winless team their first win. And like I think after that, I like shut up for the rest of the night because I couldn't back up anymore. So I heard it. But like I said, I'll be there defending y'all. Yeah. I just don't make it be known for real.
Yeah. No. I see you there because I watch all the games and I can see who's coming and who's showing up. You know what I mean? So and that doesn't, like when people talk and the other teams talk, it's a long season. And I tell my players it's a long season. So let's just keep our heads down. Let's just keep playing. And I kind of felt like you. If we keep playing, we'll see what happens. We'll end up where we want to be.
Yeah, so like I said, after those first few games, y'all played like non-conference games. Y'all ended up playing the conference teams for the rest of the season. Y'all did great. Went to the playoffs. And flash forward to the playoffs, y'all entered as a 3rd seed. Make it to the championship game again, just to face Claflin once and again. For the 3rd season in a row, you face Claflin in the championship. Talk to me about that game. Y'all did play one game this time because y'all was a higher seed than them, and y'all won it. So there's no game 2. Mm-hmm. But in that game, it was a close game into the 6th inning where your players went off. So talk to me about that game, like the emotions that was going on all game long.
That was a really high emotional game, and I only say that because we've played Claflin so many times in big games. You know what I mean? So that we know, and to give Claflin credit. They actually kind of had to, went to the loser bracket and then had to fight their way all the way back to get to the championship. So we kind of knew that, they just didn't show up and just didn't so happen to get here. They had to beat some good teams to get here. So we came in prepared, not like we're better than Claflin, but we gonna come in and play our game. And honestly, our team felt like we were gonna win. I mean, sometimes you go in, you don't know what it's gonna look like,
Yeah.
but they had the confidence that if we just keep playing, we're going to win.
And that confidence kicked in. Like I said, in the sixth inning, y'all scored 5 runs and took that lead. That confidence paid off, and y'all tried another invite to the NCAA Division II Regional postseason once and again. Lost to East Strasburg first, then Shippensburg in the next round. I kind of asked you this earlier, but like, what is it about these non-conference CIAA teams that force y'all to struggle so much? Because like you saw y'all struggling early in 2024 before y'all played CIAA teams, and you see y'all struggling in the postseason against of course they're better because they won their conference, but against non-conference teams. It's like, what is it about non-conference teams that y'all can't really get over the hump against them?
Well, I think so. Each time is a little bit different. Sometimes, like I think 2023, I think it was 2023 that we played when we won 36 games. We beat most of the PSAC teams that year because we beat Millersville twice. We beat, So I think sometimes in the regionals. So the last time, so just go back to 2024, we played in the regionals. It was injuries. I don't like to blame. I don't like to put injuries on it, but they played a big. Let's say injuries played a big part. We Sydney Edmonds, our starting shortstop, in the championship game, got her hand stepped on, got cleated, and had to get 7 stitches. So she was out for the regionals, and then Jayla Hill in the game against Virginia State, the semifinal game. Slid in the second and dislocated her shoulder, and she was out. And Jayla Hill was batting .436. She was leading the team in home runs. You know what I mean? And she was in the middle heart of our lineup. And Sydney was at the time I think was number 2, in the lineup. So we lost our number 2 and we lost our number 3. So in the middle, in the heart of our lineup. And so we knew that was going to be a challenge for us, but we were ready to take on the challenge. It was the next softball player up, next woman up. Let's go. And so every year it's a little bit different, kind of why things didn't actually work out. But I'm so optimistic that I believe. And before we even get started, I don't want to get too excited, but I think this year may be a little bit different. I'm trying to be as humble as I possibly can. This year may be a little bit different, but we're gonna see.
Nah, ain't no being cocky. Like if you feel confident, let it be known. Like I feel confident my other Clippers going make it to the championship. Even though I know we're not, but it's still good to feel confident and let it be known. But let's rewind time a little bit. In the fall, I saw that y'all played like a lot of Division I schools for the fall 2023, from Virginia Tech to Howard, et cetera, et cetera. Like, what was that all about? Y'all playing those Division I schools like during the fall of 2023.
So the year before we actually played. So we had stepped out there. So 2022 we stepped out there and we actually played Penn State first in a fall contest, and they actually contacted us. And so I felt like if they would contact us, then they felt like we were good enough to compete. And so we went to Penn State, and I think we played St. Francis and Penn State, and we really competed. I mean, it was really good competition. And so from there, from playing those contests, it gave me and our players the ability to believe that there's no college team that's playing softball that we can't compete against. And so when we got the opportunity to play Virginia Tech, I'm like, yeah, let's play. I mean, and I think playing those schools in the fall really gives us confidence. And I say this because they're playing freshmen that just came off the same softball field that our freshmen did. So, if they playing freshmen, we playing freshmen, then those freshmen were playing each other a couple weeks prior before they showed up at school. So we feel like we definitely can compete early with those schools. So that's kind of what the plan was in 2023. And we play Howard every year. We compete against them. We compete against them like we compete against the other teams in the CIAA.
I'm pretty sure they didn't. It don't hurt to ask. Did they like pay y'all to play to play them? Kind of like in football, in college football, like big schools kind of pay small schools like 500K to play them. I'm pretty sure the answer is no. But did they pay y'all to play them at Penn State?
So Penn State, no. I mean, they provided meals. They provided a meal and that kind of stuff. Virginia Tech, so it was like a fundraiser for them. So we didn't, because it was a fundraiser. So we didn't ask. And usually in the fall it doesn't happen, but in the spring, when we do play some of the D1s, we do have a contract where there is a little bit of money involved.
Okay, that's good to hear because like, but the basketball team got money from Kevin Durant. Football team always getting money, and I feel like you all on the bowling team that always be winning don't really get much money. So I'm glad to see y'all getting money from somewhere. As a former athlete, I feel like practices are always boring and stale, and I didn't like that. So as a coach, what do you do to make practice fun for the players? Like some events after practice or something that I do during practice that keep the players involved and make them want to come back to practice.
So I think like for our practices, we compete. So we do a lot of competition drills. Most of the things that we do is competing against yourself, competing against your teammate, or is competing against a group. Like it's 4 on this side, 4 on this side, or you know what I mean. You partner up and we play. We call it doubles. We call it doubles. So it's a person at second base and you at bat. Your job is to replace, where your teammate is. If she's at second, then you trying to get to second. And so we do a lot of games. Well, we call them games, but they're really drills.
Yeah.
That really make it kind of fun. And so we incorporate a lot of fun. Actually, we just did this year. We did during Halloween. They all dressed up in their favorite costumes, and they will really have some really crazy costumes. And then we played. They can use anything. We play wiffle ball, but they can use anything but a bat. They could hit the ball anything but a bat, and also they had to run the bases backwards. So instead of running the first, you had to start off at third. Wow. And so yeah. So we do. They do. Oh man, I know if you follow us. Bowie State softball. They do enough TikToks to keep us going. So it's a lot of that kind of stuff goes on a daily basis. To kind of cut up the monotony of every day. And as coaching staff, we try to bring in new drills. We try to hear what they have to say and kind of what they want to get it better at. And so it's kind of a combination. So it's not just coming from one side. Everybody's kind of contributing, so it doesn't get bored.
That's good. Like, do you have a mentor or like someone that you go to for help, like when it comes to like kind of dealing with these ladies? Kind of dealing with ladies, like women, is a lot. So like when it kind of like understanding them, shall I say, when it comes to understanding them and what they're going through, do you go to someone like a mentor for help for as far as understanding these players when it comes like off the field stuff?
Man, that is a great question.
Thank you.
I've been doing this for a while. No one's ever asked me that question before. Yes, and here's the thing. I have 3 other female assistant coaches, and that is part of the reason that I have the coaches that I have is because I can go to them and say, hey, is that something I really need to be concerned about? Or, that's something that I probably should let go. And they will be honest with me and tell me from their perspective as women kind of how I should handle it possibly as a male on that staff. And so I go to them and then I talk to my assistant coaches. Definitely, I kind of pick their brains a lot about how to best handle some of our 20, 24, 25 softball players. And then, and then also I am really, just to give a shout out. So Coppin State, Mercedes at Coppin State, And then, and believe it or not, most of the people that I reach out to and that call me, Delaware State, Coach Stockdale, Morgan State, Coach Highline. So those are my go-to people. Those are my closest contacts. Coach G at North Carolina A&T. So those are my confidant. Those are the people that I talk to a lot about, kind of what's going on with my team, this situation. What do you guys think? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's you got to go and talk to other coaches that are going through similar stuff, and we glean a lot off each other. So yeah, that's my circle.
That's good because that I thought you was probably gonna say like you got a daughter or something like that you go to, or I didn't think about your assistant coaches or other coaches. I thought there was someone in your family that help you out. So I'm glad I did ask you that. And speaking, you got 24 to 25 players, and not every single one of them get to see the field. Have you ever had like a parent got the game like yelling like, "Hey, put my kid in," or reach out to you like, "Hey, why didn't my daughter play?" I'm not gonna lie, my dad did that. I wasn't getting that much PT in high school football. My dad was in the stands every game. Like when we was up big in the third quarter, like, "Hey, put my son in." Like, what's going on? Have you ever had a parent like tell you that put their kid in the game?
No, I have not. Actually, that's one experience I have not had, and probably, probably I haven't had that experience because I do my best to try to put the best 9 or 10 on the field. And they've been evaluated every day, every minute, every rep, every opportunity. They're being evaluated every chance. So with them know they're being evaluated, and the thing is, when they know who's out on the field, giving their hardest, giving their playing the best, then there's no question. There's no question why she's out there. There's no question why she got an opportunity because they see it happen in practice. And so, you know what I mean? And I'm sure they relay that information to the parents. But no, I have not had parents yelling from the stands. I've had one or two to send me a text, and it wasn't, and I don't discuss playing time, with parents. That's just something I don't do. They can call me about, their grades, how they feel, a lot of other things that I talk to them about. But playing time is just not one of them, just because we're there as a coaching staff evaluating them every day, 6 days a week, 3.5 hours a day, you know what I mean, and evaluating them. And so if we can do a good job in evaluation, then everybody's going to be pretty much satisfied. Well, I won't say satisfied because they never are satisfied about their playing time unless they play every game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they can clearly understand, when their opportunity comes, this is their opportunity. Let me take advantage of it.
I also interviewed the women's basketball head coach, Miss Sade Swan, and she talked about how like some of her former players went on to play overseas. One of them playing on like a Washington D.C. team. I know you, and you say one of your players like is on the coaching staff right now, right? Former players. So like, have any other of your other former players, you only been here for 4 years, continued their softball career after college, whether it's doing this, talking about softball, being a softball player, or even a softball coach, not including the one on the team right now.
Yeah. So I have. So there's a player that was with us. They actually went and played a couple of weeks. It may have been a month. They went to go over to Italy and play for it was professional, but it was a professional team, and they went over and played. And then we have a few coaches. We have a few young ladies that was on the team last year and the year before that actually are coaching high school teams and coaching travel teams. So yeah, so they're still involved in coaching. Say Alexandra actually is coaching at St. John's High School in D.C. And then Aaliyah Smith is actually coaching at Team Virginia over in Virginia. It's a travel squad, and so we have other former players that are giving back either by playing, and I know a lot of them are mentoring young ladies that are interested in softball, and and just trying to build the game up. So I know that's happening.
Last question. I'm gonna get you out of here. This one might hurt some feelings. So, I know that it was tough for the women's basketball head coach to answer this question because she gonna hurt some feelings. I want you to be a Mount Rushmore players that you've coached so far here at Bowie State.
Ooh. Oh.
She had to switch it. She switched it to like a starting five and a six man because that she couldn't pick four players. But I want you to do a Mount Rushmore. The four players that you, the best players that you coach. It can be best. It can be funniest. How you want to build a Mount Rushmore? That's up to you.
Man, that's so I got it because I've been I was assistant 4 years and then I was the head coach. Been a head coach for this fifth season. So it's like one complete group that I've had to go through that I started coaching, and then they all just graduated, and then I have one actually. Lindsay George is the only. She's the only player that was here all 4 years. The other two seniors came in as freshmen. They came transfers. Oh man! So I'm okay. So let's just start because my coaching career is a little bit younger than Coach Swan's. Not that she's younger, but which she is younger. But my coaching career is a little bit shorter.
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to say.
She started before you.
Yeah. So because she got years, so let me say, probably that would go on my that face that will go on my for so many different reasons is Akira Pullen. I mean,
I get it. Makes sense.
for on the field, off the field, her commitment to the team, her enthusiasm, her funny personality. She would go on there for so many different reasons. And we're not even talking about her at bats, her power, her pitching, So yeah, Akira Pullen would definitely go on. Definitely be one of the main faces on that. And I don't think I would get too many pushback from anybody else.
Okay.
Another one, and then like I'm talking like recent, like if it was, these are recent players.
Now, you can go back to your assistant coach. You don't got to do like current players.
Yeah, I'm going back to it's so when I was this young lady named and I was the assistant and I was barely the assistant coach when this young lady came through, but she was really really good. Her name Jackie Pickering, and I knew her when she played travel softball, and she played shortstop for Bowie. She was really, really good. So Jackie probably would go up there, and then I probably Karen would go on there because it's hard for me to envision somebody right now today that could be better than Jayla Hill.
Yeah, I was waiting on that name.
Yeah, it's hard for me to envision. Now, there could be somebody show up and just be equally as good, but Jayla Hill is really good. And so I think that if I got it when I got to go look back, I can't put them up there now, but I'm gonna have to look back. So right now, those are the three. We still gotta, we still chiseling and working on those other ones. You know what I mean? I just
one more face to put up there.
Yeah. And I don't, and just thinking about the team and the teams that I've had in the past, I don't. They all are really good, and nobody in my group right now, and in the previous group, either they could be next year after next. When I look back on it, but right now I'm just gonna stick with those.
Those three.
Yeah. I can't. If I because somebody hasn't finished their career yet, so I wanna be the other person. It probably would be Lindsay George.
Okay, I was about to say. Okay, I knew for sure. Karen, Lindsay, and Jayla was going to make it.
Yeah.
Ooh, you scared me for a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah. I mean, Lindsay definitely. Lindsay is like one of those people that, Lindsay is surprisingly, like her demeanor is like really kind of quiet sometimes. But if you get to know Lindsay, she's a great leader. But it's not. She leads in such a different way than most people recognize a leader, because she's not loud, she's not boisterous, But her leadership is really what has helped us team this year. Without even her pitching, which we know that's going to be on point, but her leadership is really kind of puts her on that mantle. In addition to, of course, her play, her hitting, her pitching. You know what I mean? So there's other, but right now let's I'm gonna go with those four.
Okay, if you just had to pick one person that you predict, like one of your up and coming players right now, whether it's freshman or sophomore or junior, that you predict would make that Mount Rushmore. Let's say it's just 5 faces up there instead of 4. Who would that one person be that you feel like, oh yeah, they're gonna make it?
Ooh, and I say that right. So if there's a couple, and I don't want because I don't want to put any pressure on them, but there's a couple freshmen that's on the team right now that I believe in 2 or 3 years they will be on there. It's 2 or 3 of them. They play really key positions. I'm trying to, they play some key positions. But if we had this interview and in 3 years, wherever you are, you come back and you ask me that question, I'm gonna say, you remember those 2 or 3 I told you about?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they all belong on there. So yeah, so that I'm gonna leave it at that with no names, but if you can read between the lines, that they play really key positions, and I mentioned their names before, and they freshmen now. So we just, we can take that and go with it.
Hey, he mentioned your name at the beginning of this interview when I asked him about, somebody to look out for this upcoming season. So,
Yeah.
Just know y'all got pressure on your shoulder because I will be watching. Other than that, I appreciate you all for watching. And once again, I appreciate you for stopping by. Best of luck this upcoming season. Don't scare me. Even don't scare me again with the slow start.
Nah.
Please don't. I beg of you.
I'm going to try not to.
Other than that, I appreciate y'all for watching here on the WBSU radio station. Have a great night.